All right, all right. What's going on, everyone? We're back in the building. Happy New Year. Um, Back with another banger. Me and my brother Black Retro Talk Forum in the building. Good to be back. Good to be back. How's everybody doing this evening?
Happy New Year, guys. How's everybody doing?
All right, all right.
Y'all excuse me for my coughing. No, I
You're
don't
you're
have the
cho-
Rona.
you're choking on the Buccaneers' victory, I guess.
Hey, see what you're not gonna do is come over. You're not gonna do. Hey, we won by more than 3 points, so I say
Yeah, it was good. I'm glad that they're moving forward.
that. Oh yeah, oh
Can't
yeah,
complain.
oh yeah.
Yeah, we
But
got. Go ahead, Black. Go ahead.
I was just gonna introduce myself, man. You know,
Go ahead, brother.
one half of Retro Talk Farm podcast. Y'all can catch us each and every Sunday. I know it's been a minute, but we know we back. You know what I'm saying? We holidays. That's all I can say is holidays. But I am Black Ass African, aka BAA, aka Marvin. Hey, what you doing now? I got the pipes, man. I just been caught, you know what I'm saying? So I can't see the chat, so shout out to everybody out there, man. And I'm gonna pass it over to my other half.
This your boy Hot Dog 18. Got a special guest in the building tonight, man. I'm looking forward to this one. Starting the new year off right. Shout out to the chat. We got 5 in there. Coffee with the Full Flash, Soldier Kicks, trolling the best show on YouTube. I appreciate it though. I received that.
You
Appreciate it,
ain't
man.
lying. Appreciate you
You
though.
know, then we got Flashy Hall in the building. What's going on? Shout out to everybody in the chat. And bro, we got a special guest in the building. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, man. Go ahead and the floor is yours, bro.
What's up, fellas? KicksReason here. Long time YouTuber. Unfortunately, not from the popular ones that you've probably heard. But those of you that know me or have been following me on Instagram or checking on my videos for a long time, I've been one of the few people that consistently covers Reebok, not only new releases, but a lot of the retro stuff from a couple years ago and a lot of the originals. Probably one of the few people that have quite substantial original collection. Maybe one, two other guys I know have close to what I have in my possession over the years, but I've been a fan of the brand for 30 years now, since 1991, when I was in high school and saw it for the first time. And naturally, I don't discriminate, so I have plenty of Nikes, plenty of Adidas, Puma, other brands as well. So in general, big sneaker enthusiast for the last 30 years.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. We got Q's up, sleeve down, 313Q in the building. Beer Jedi and Throwback, man. Appreciate y'all rocking with us this evening. Uh, if y'all missed it, we got KicksReason on with us. About to chop it up, talk about a few things this evening. I'm really looking forward to it. But we're gonna start it off with the pickups. And then we haven't been on in a while, so yeah, we've had a few pickups, but I'm just gonna show my most recent one. And um, Kicks, if you want to go first, since you the guest, yes. Show us
Sure.
what you picked up recently.
Well, my
Hey,
my regular my
put him on,
recent
put him on Teletron one, man.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let me get. It's my first
my
time producing the show this evening, so y'all have to bear with me. I'm executive producer. Be all in the
All in
videos,
the videos, all in the show.
take that. But yeah, let me put Kicks on the summergram. Mike check. I mean, regular Mike Callie in the building. Sneaker Professor, what's going on, man? Appreciate y'all
Yes,
rocking
sir.
with us.
Yes, sir.
And Mike check. Let's go. All right, show us what you got, Kicks. My bad.
so what I got is these ugly ducklings, which this is the Nike Cross Trainer Superb. These I think retail about 120, 130 nowadays, and I saw them at the Nike factory store for $60. And I was like, man, these are so ugly. I actually like them. You know what I mean? Like they remind me of a lot of classic Reebok models with decoupled midsole, the giant zoom pods on the forefoot are super comfortable. I put them on feet, and they're like super bouncy. So I was like, hey, $60, why not? I'll scoop
Right.
them. So yeah, this is one of the few. And hold on, I got the official footwear of the 2020 scalpers, resellers, and high beasts right here. This is this is the shoe that actually is called the scalpers. I don't know if you can see it inside, but you know, I wanted to make fun of this one, but I just can't because the materials used on this shoe are so high quality. A lot of the like famous companies should be ashamed how good it is. I mean, we have suedes, we have nubucks, we have leathers. They're super comfortable. I mean, these are going to be reviewed soon on the channel. I'm kind of surprised how good these are, but yeah, these are probably the latest two I grabbed.
What's the retail on that sneaker there?
The scalper is about $50 actually, brand new.
Damn, with good quality like that.
Yeah,
Hey,
you got leather, you got suede, you got everything for $50, man. Can you imagine?
They gotta get it together, man.
Hey,
They
they
gotta
I'm
saying,
telling you.
hold on. The chat is saying that we got an echo. Let me see something real quick. Let me see something. Do you hear the echo now?
No,
I don't hear the echo either.
I don't either.
So it gotta be me then.
Right. We can either do this if you want to try to hop out and hop back in. We can try that one more time, or either I can mute you whenever we're talking. But I don't want to mute you and then you end up saying something and then it's not able.
Let me check. Let me switch devices real quick, and we'll see how it's gonna work.
Okay, that'll work.
All right.
All right. Well, while he's doing that, I'm gonna show mine. This is my latest pickup. I picked up the Turdunkins. Qualities is thick on these. Yeah, got that bird feather.
Ooh,
That bird
look at
feather.
that Nike swoosh flipping. That thing flipping.
Then the other side, we got the mallet side. What's up, Rice Coat? OG sneakers in the building.
Man, that mofo look good.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Hey,
And then I came with the hold on. Got a few extras. Got the socks. We got the paper. It's the special box version. We got the turkey leg in there, just the vortex. So we got all that going on. All right, let me see. We got Mr. KicksReason back.
Oh no, can you?
Oh yeah, that's much better.
Is it better? Okay.
Oh man, much better. Yes, sir. We back. Okay, we back. So that was my little pickup. You know, we're gonna say the best for last. And I'm done. It's your turn.
Kick myself. You know, it's been a minute since we did this, so y'all had to bear with us, man. All right. Okay, I'm back. Two I want to show. For those who tried for them, they came out. I think it was 2 days before Christmas. You know, I gotta get that right. You know what I'm saying? They came out like
all that. We ain't asked all that.
Represent.
they came out two days before Christmas, and I think they sold out on the site maybe within like 3 minutes or something like that. But it's these. If you know, you know.
That's some good stuff right there.
Purple tape 2.0s. The Raekwon joints. I think my only gripe with this is this is basically what I got. It was in a box, and when I opened the box, this is what I saw. So they don't actually come with a shoe box per se, but I shall digress.
You got that perp. That's that perp bag.
But if you see this shoe, man, this
Yeah.
shoe.
I see nothing but suede and leather on there.
Yes, sir.
This is beautiful. What is that, velvet?
You got that ostrich right here on the ribs, on the eye stay right here on the bottom, on the tongue itself where the Raekwon patch is.
Just tell me how that thing smells, man. Just smell that thing for me.
Man.
Hey, this is my impression of Nightwing. But yeah, man, this is beautiful. It's a beautiful constructed shoe.
I've been smelling shoes for 30 years, man. This thing is mesmerizing.
Man, and the leather is like second to none.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, it's got the 1995 in purple.
Yeah.
On the inside, it has the this is like side A or side one of the cassette tape, and it has all the songs on the inside.
Right.
And on the second shoe, it has the second side for the rest of the song. So man, I had to have this one, man. When I heard it was coming back out, I had to have it. And lately, I just been on this Deodore trip. They're comfortable. The quality is there. Do not sleep on anything that these foreign brands are making. Step outside your comfort zone for one thing. That's one thing I would say, because you'll be very surprised on all of the quality that comes out with these other brands.
When I see you rocking Deodora or copying Deodora, I know you're not a hype beast. That's for sure. That's the anti-hype beast shoe right there.
There you go, man. And my second one, I had to have it. And this one here, I think Barry Jedi, being the dicking discount dude that he is, he would oblige this one here. But I got these right here.
Sweet.
These are the Bait times Deodore Transformer collaboration.
Right. Oh, with a logo on the back. All right.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's metal. It's not plastic.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, that looks, that's nice.
That is metal.
Yeah.
That is metal.
That is nice.
Now this got to be like some cowhide, suede, or something. Look at that.
Yeah, that is definitely suede.
Look at that. Look at that. That is beautiful. I mean, the whole shoe is like this. The only leather is this little purple joint right here. That's it. Everything else is like that cowhide, suede. And this is dope. Inside.
That is super nice.
Inside. Nice. I caught this shoe for $100. Brand new.
So Deodora is going to start producing all the pairs in Italy, man. Hope the
price.
Vegas. Hopefully the price is not going to go up. They're going to lose me as a customer.
Well, this one here was retailed at $250.
Yeah.
And I kind of hate it because they didn't give me extras with it. Only thing I got was some purple bubble wrap and a cardboard box and that Ziploc thing. That was it. I'm not down in the shoe. It's just the packaging. I wasn't sold on the packaging.
You were not overwhelmed by the packaging.
No, not for that price anyway. But that was a shoe I had to have, man. So I just went on and got it. So that's all I got for pickups, man. I appreciate y'all for joining us on pickups. So now we're gonna go to the.
Before we go any further, we got to shout out. We got to shout out the sponsor, Lift Heavy Clothing, man. Beer Jedi in the chat, man. Go check him out. Dope products. He just came out with some new gear. Check him out. Dope campaign, man. Very good customer service.
Does he have anything that's gonna make me look younger?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Might get on the bandwagon.
Hey, check him out. Give him a follow. Yes, sir. All right. But yeah, man, we about to get into the meat and potatoes. Let's just get into it. Kicks, we know you. If you follow him and you see the stuff that he posts, dope page. Check him out. But we here to talk about the Reebok situation, and of course, everybody knows Master P is trying to get Reeboks. I think some people say he's purchased it already, but that's not true yet, is it?
It hasn't happened yet.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, because I've seen a few people say that he's already purchased it, but not
yet.
Wanted to get your thoughts and opinions, and from the chat, we want to know what y'all want to see come back from Reebok if this is the case, and he's able to purchase it. So just give us your thoughts and opinion, and well, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and your history with Reebok, what got you started in Reebok, and just collecting in general.
Yeah, it's a long, sad story. I'm gonna try to shorten it up for all y'all. I don't want to bore everybody to death and depress them right after the New Year's. But growing up in Eastern Europe in the 80s, late 70s and 80s, the world was a lot different, and it was what I like to refer as black and white. There was no color, there was no dope kicks, none of that stuff. It was two government produced type of sneakers, and everybody bought and rocked that. There was nothing else. So 89 rolls in, and obviously all the businesses are starting to roll in. So we had Reebok coming in, Nike coming in, Adidas coming in, Puma. All these companies started actually producing in the country and opening stores, and everything happened within the months of the summer between 91, summer of 91. I was away from the city and coming back right before school starting. I was in high school. Um, I'm walking down the street and I'm seeing this guy about 50 feet away from me, walking in front of me, and he had something incredibly shiny and vibrant on his feet, which for me was like an epiphany moment. And I was like, "What in the world is this on his feet?" So he started approaching and getting closer and closer, and I see this thing on these big tongs saying "pump" on it and cross training underneath stitched in, and I was like, I have no idea what that is, but I want it. And he kind of passed me. I kept turning my head and watching him go, and I was like, man, I don't know what these shoes are, but they have pumps. They must make you jump higher. So I was so hyped up. I kept walking. I saw the store open. I got inside and started looking at all these models. I couldn't believe that's happening. And from that moment on, I was hooked up. For me, it was all about sneakers. It was all about Reebok. Reebok made the biggest push at the time over there, selling a lot of models. Naturally, I couldn't afford them because everybody was poor, including myself. Just for example, a pair of sneakers, and then the model I'm referring to that I saw first was the Pump AXT Plus, which was an amazing model, and it costed around the salary of my mom for the whole month. So, I was super excited. Went back home, uh, talked to my mom, and said, "Hey, mom, you know, there's this new model sneakers called Reebok. They have pumps on them. Can I get a pair?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure. How much is it?" And I told her the price, and she laughed so much she almost fell over. I was like, "Why are you laughing about it? It's great." She's like, "Well, let me tell you when you're gonna get these sneakers. When you find when you find the job, start working, and you spend your own money to get it." So that was kind of the biggest letdown for me at that point. Obviously there was no jobs for kids at that time. Barely there was jobs for adults. So it took me a while to collect some money and finally bought my own sneakers with my own money 3 years later. So it was a long period of hard work and doing whatever I can to get money.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
but
feel you on that.
but yeah, it's pretty much the same story with no matter where you grew up or where you lived, you didn't have money, you wanted to be rocking some dope kicks, and you wanted to be, you know, outfitted nicely, but you just couldn't. So you started getting into it mentally. You like some models and you kind of follow it, and you want to. At the time, there was no internet, so you collect all the magazine and newspaper clippings that you can, and you go around stores and you beg all the clerks for advertisements and posters and all that stuff, and you record NBA games on VHS, and then you pause it just to see who's having what kind of sneaker.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
I
it
thought I
was
was the only
just
one
a
that did that.
Mm-mm.
it was
No, we,
just a
we used to back in the day when the East Bay catalog came out. Whoever the first one was to get their friend's East Bay catalog, you definitely taking out that send the catalog to a friend uh, banner out. That's
yeah.
never in the catalog. You know what I mean? Even though I
It's
wasn't gonna buy nothing, but let me look at the magazine.
Yep. That was the only way. I knew I was not gonna get the sneakers, but at least I wanted to have the pictures of them. So yeah, it's 30 years later, here we are now with I have quite a big collection behind my back, probably over 400 pairs, of which probably 270, 80 are Reebok, uh, a lot of Nikes and Jordans and Adidas and Pumas and Diodoras, and a lot of kind of like off the beaten track sneakers that not too many people know about or follow. I don't have pretty much anything that is considered high beast shoe or popular one, but it is what I like. I buy what I like. I review what I like, and that's about it. So yeah, it's a long story short, and that's how I got into it.
What's up,
Gotcha.
man? I think everybody had the same story. Or the majority of the people had the same
Yes,
story, man. You know what I'm
Indeed.
saying?
Yeah. Indeed.
No matter where you at in the world, everybody has that same story when it comes to these sneakers.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So
Um,
go ahead, Black.
hold on. So you saying you was from in Europe.
Yep.
When did you come to the States?
So I came here about 17 years ago. Actually, for me, it was always that was like my dream growing up. Even when during the communist days, I was always questioning why is everybody talking about the West being bad? You know, none of these teachers and people have ever been. Why would you tell us that it's bad? So it kind of became an idea in my head to always, push forward and try to eventually come here. And then, as silly as it sounds, sneakers were kind of like the driving force. Me not being able to buy them, I wanted to get close to the source and have enough money so I can buy them. And the only way to do it is just stay in school, get an education, get a good job, uh, come over here, work, make enough money so I can afford, the luxury of having hundreds of pairs that I couldn't do when I was a kid.
Right, right. And like, was it hard for you to get all your stuff that you had, sneaker wise, moving from Europe over to the States?
it was it was very hard, especially at the beginning when I was renting apartments. I was not married yet. Going back and forward with a suitcase, traveling once, twice a year, and just trying to fit. I got hundreds of paper materials, advertisements, and stuff like that that I've collected over the years from all over the world. Not only Europe, but Japan and whatever, anywhere I can get. It was hard because paper is heavy.
Right,
If you don't know, paper is heavy. So when you put
right,
like 10 magazines in the suitcase, and then you have to fit the rest of your things, people are like, man, what do you are you crazy? Because I used to like carry them in my carry-on, and I go to security, and they open it up, and they're like, look at me like, what's going on? Going through the magazines like I'm hiding something. I'm like,
right.
I'm like, yeah, I'm into sneakers. Just yeah, don't worry about it.
Don't judge
Uh,
me.
but yeah, it's I managed to transfer pretty much everything over here. I still have some things left back home. I'm not sure even how I'm gonna be able to bring over because it's like boxes from original sneakers and stuff like that, and
Mm,
they're not easily preserved, and I don't want to get them apart and then put them back together because it never looks
right.
the same. So I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out how to bring it one day, but for now they're gonna stay there.
I got you. Go ahead, Tyler. How was your question?
Oh no, I'm good. I was gonna ask him. Since the reason why we're here, to talk about this masterpiece situation. Just want to get your
Hmm.
thoughts and just see what you think about him purchasing it, and
Right.
some of the stuff that you would like to see come
You,
back.
it's funny because the moment this news came up, and I got so many DMs on Instagram with the same question. What do you think about it? What do you think about it? Do you think it's going to happen? What's going to happen? And you know, this past 6-7 months has been like constant news about companies coming out and buying potentially Reebok, including Shaq, including who else? Somebody else out. Corporation in China wanted to buy him. Anta wanted to buy him, which is interesting because I have people still that work at Reebok, friends and sorry, some sources, and I ask them constantly, hey, what's the situation? Are you guys actually doing this? The thing is, nothing is really close to getting negotiated. So it's not something that it's a done deal. It's not something that it's going to be sure. When all these news started emerging, obviously one after another, that makes you think that Adidas might want to sell them. Logically speaking, I'm not 100% sure why would they do this because that's going to create a competition for them, and they don't want to be compete against. They already have quite substantial competition from Nike, and why would they want to create another one potentially? But anyway, if they're just trying to make a buck and get rid of it, I think there's plenty of people that can do a good work with the company. When Shaq's name was being thrown initially around, I got super excited about that one because he's a brilliant businessman, which branded himself throughout the years very good, and he made a lot of money. So I knew that he's going to take care of the company and he's going to create some good things. Now I'm not sure if he's still in the mix, if he's still going to be trying to get it or not. But this was my initial excitement. Now for Master P, again, I'm cautiously optimistic. Let's put it this way, because um, I know they can do a lot of good things for with the company, but the initial kind of statements and things they pushed around were more like, okay, we're gonna go right away and make Iverson, go toe to toe with Jordan. And I'm getting concerned when I start hearing these kind of statements because you cannot. I don't care what company you are. I mean, as much as I love Reebok, I'm a realist. I know how things work. I'm old enough to understand business, and you cannot fight the Goliath that Jordan is with only one athlete and his legacy. And Reebok has so much. So if they mobilize and get everything out there that people have been wanting for years, absolutely, they're going to have a huge success. But if you're banking only on Iverson and his line, uh, I don't think it's going to be too successful. So
I
again,
think. Also, let me say this real quick.
yeah, go ahead.
I think when I heard them say that about, I thought they was maybe saying that they was going to make Iverson what Jordan is for Nike. I didn't necessarily take it as they was Master P was trying to like go against Jordan. I felt like he was saying that we're going to try to make him what Jordan is to Nike, just like start his own. I took it as they was gonna give pretty much Iverson like his own company within
Brand.
Reebok, right? Like a brand Iverson or something like that. And I remember back in the day when they tried that, and like we was discussing earlier about the Iverson pressures when they came out with like
Mhm.
they had his own clothing line, the I3. It seemed like they kind of did that already with the I3.
That's
They
what I'm
had the
saying. They already
they
did
had the
that.
clothing line, they had the like the Air Force One,
Right.
looking shoes, the pressure, they had all the flavors in that.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I guess when Iverson kind of started going, coming out of the league, they just let it go,
They did.
So
Yeah.
I feel like P is trying to go back to that again and try to preserve that again. That's what I
Y-
took from it.
if they go to that route to make them a flagship brand and they really come out with some incredible retros and some new designs, they're going to be wowing everybody. I'm on board 100%.
Hmm.
And honestly, I would
Yeah.
be buying any original colorway from pretty much his whole line. If it comes
Right.
with the answer twos, answer threes, and I'm buying all these. If they do them right with the right materials, and put the tech on, easy call right there.
Right. And see, that was the thing that I was kind of like, because when I saw the Iversons come out, they were supposed to have the DMX at the bottom.
Mhm.
Um, and when we saw that shoe, it's like that doesn't really have the real DMX in it.
No, that's the thing, because DMX 10 pods, the original DMX 10 pods, it's kind of expensive to implement even today. Um, Originally, when they released, they were already expensive. But if they release them today and they try to recreate what they were, it's the shoe's going to be over $200, and nobody's going to pay that. Honestly. So they still try to implement some form of DMX, which they have kind of like a step down DMX.
Hmm.
You have the 10 pots, then you have the six, and then you have the six modified, which is like three in the front, three in the back. And then you have the iPack, which is one big pot in the front, one big pot in the back, transition bridge in between. So they start putting a lot of the iPack because it's easy to produce and it's kind of smaller, I guess, so they can put it in every shoe. That's why if you see the latest answer um, retros that came out, what, 2 years ago, the white pair, a lot of people were mad that there was no functional DMX in the front, in
Hmm.
the bottom. You don't have 10 pods, just mimicking 10 pods. But when you lift the insole, you can see the eye pack inside, which is that encapsulated one big pod in the back and the front, which for me is still DMX. I mean, it's better than having fake Hexalite. So it still works. Yeah, it's not the original form of it, but what can you do, right? I'll take that. So even if they bring some of that on the Iverson shoes that had DMX, I'll be happy with that. As long as the
Yeah.
materials are fine, of course.
Yeah, I agree with TikTok. He says OG DMX is the best soul tape. Uh,
Right.
to me, I think that was one of the that's more comfortable to me than Boost. That DMX 10 was like to me it was like beyond its time.
Yeah,
It was
it
ahead of
is.
its time. I say that.
In Reebok were ahead of the time in technology from the get go. I mean,
From
they
yeah,
Reebok RLC, there were research and what was it called, the technology and something that the division was called, I forgot. I mean, they worked so hard on creating stuff that was like space level at the time. You know, when graphite came in and they implemented in the Shaq, the original Shaq shoe, '92, carbon fiber plate in the shoe. I mean, nobody heard about it. You know,
right.
airplane makers like Boeing were putting carbon fiber on their wings. I mean, I've seen one of the in the first commercials were exactly that. They were showing airplane wings with carbon fiber and Shaq shoes right next to it. And I'm so bummed that I couldn't find one of those displays to snatch nowadays. But I remember it being in stores and they had them like side by side. You know, and the slogan was something about will make you fly or make you jump higher or something like that. But you know, and then you have the pump, and then you have Hexalite, and at the time they had dynamic moving air system, which was later became DMX, and they had the high trail, which high trail is a kind of like soft foam material that was created by DuPont. They were it was kind of like energy return, similar to return system because the tubes inside energy return system, which predated Hexalite, were made out of high trail, which is the same material. But they had so much tech on shoes, and that's why it was one of the things that really attracted me to it because I like to get more for my for my money. You know what I mean? If you have $100 to spend, and this is the only $100 you can spend the whole year or 2 years, you would want to buy the maximum for that money. So
Right.
getting a pair of sneakers that had the pump, had the Hexalite, it had graphite. I mean, that was the natural choice. If you get Nikes and you step on a nail tomorrow and you pop that air unit, game
Right.
over. You're done.
Yeah.
It's not like today I can go and buy three other pairs and don't even care. You know, back in the day it was like you get one for 2 years. That's it. Deal with it. So
That was
yeah,
called
they
being
were ahead
broke.
of the tech, and when the DMX came on, and they had the commercials with the aliens and all that stuff, and I went to the store and stepped in that shoe, and I started rocking back and forth. I was like, oh my god, I can actually feel it under my feet moving. That's crazy. It was super comfortable.
Yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact. I had my first run in with the DMX was that the runner, that black and purple runner, the first DMX that
Hmm.
came out.
The
I love
DMX
that shoe.
10, DMX 10 run, 10 pods.
That was mine too.
Yep. Yep.
That was the first one I put on feet too. That was the flagship model that came out. They still didn't have the basketball or the cross training models, and the runner came out first. It was like on the top of the pyramid in the store. Always, I was like, man, this thing looks amazing. You know, you look at this translucent outsole and you see these pods, and you kind of press on them, and they collapse. It was so cool.
Right. Right. So say this deal goes through. What do you feel like? Do you feel like he would open up the vault just like somebody said in the chat earlier that Reebok needs to open up the vault, and I agree. Because especially right now, a lot of retro stuff is in a lot of stuff that they bringing back. A lot of people are looking for like those classic '80s and '90s shoes, and
Hmm.
I feel like that they're scared to, like you said, Adidas, owns Reebok, right?
Yeah.
And they don't want that competition, so it's like they're not really pumping anything into it.
Right. Right.
But they do have a lot of stuff where they can bring back out. How do
They
you
have
feel about that, and what would you like to see? And do you think it's a possibility that he would open up the vault?
they have so much stuff that they can bring out. I mean, they can literally bankrupt me if they come up with all that stuff because they have just between the 1989 and 1995, there are hundreds of models that if they come out with those, I'm buying them release day. Like there's
Yes.
so many things that I want to see back, from the
Yes,
cross
Lord.
training line, from the whole preseason line. If they bring all the preseason line with all the Emmett Smith models, that's game over. I mean, there's so many amazing models there from the preseason line. Thinking about if they're gonna do it now, this kind of business decision is very, very big, and it's dictated not only by passion, because I'm sure they're passionate about the brand. They want to do good things. They have good intentions. But on the flip side, a lot of these decisions are made by the big retailers as well, because when they meet with the company X and they present their case and say, okay, we have models this and this coming out, would you be interested to buy them and sell them on your stores? I'm talking about Foot Locker, Finish Line, Champs, all these big name companies. And if they're not convinced that this model is going to sell, um, Reebok is not going to make them. That's the thing. That's why a lot of these samples that were flying around the last 5 to 10 years, a lot of exciting models were about to come out, and I was getting hyped about. Eventually got scrapped because they meet with the company, and the company says, "Well, you're trying to sell me these, new models coming out. I barely sold your last retros from last year. We had to bring them down on sale price for like $35, $40. Unfortunately, those ended up in this situation. So those retailers kind of doomed the release of those popular models that we were expecting. Now, if they go to the route of creating a smaller batches and sell them exclusively on Reebok.com, I think they're going to have a lot better success. But at the same time, creating a mold for a sneaker costs a lot of money, up into about $100,000, sometimes even more. Um, so if they have the funds and if they want to do it, sure, I'm sure they can come out with 10 molds a year, invest $1 million, um, recreate 10 models, pump all the OG colorways. People will be happy with that. I'm personally will be happy to buy 10 OG colors or 20 OG colors of different models throughout the year. I'll channel all my funds to those sneakers instead of buying, Nikes and other models. So it really depends who's going to be advising them, because I'm sure, they go with a business mind and they go with a passion, but people that know the company, people that actually know how it's going to function, it's going to be a key who they're going to hire, who they're going to have, who they're going to keep inside the company that's already there and has the knowledge. I personally know a few people that are very well educated on the history and everything else, and they love the brand. Unfortunately, they're kind of suppressed today. They cannot do what they really want to do. So hopefully that's if that happens, they're gonna find a way to keep those people and bring back some of the old designers, because old designers, man, they were some of the best designers in the world even today. Uh, Unfortunately, a lot of them got kind of bought out by Nike. They moved off over to work for Nike later. Christian Tresser and Steven Smith and a lot of these guys transition over to Nike to create a lot of great models as well. I mean, look at one of the most popular model for Nike, Air Max 97, was created by Christian Tresser, and it's still being released today consistently with a success. So yeah, it really depends what kind of approach they're going to take, but I really want to believe that it's going to be successful.
So let's just say, let's just say this does happen, and he gets the investors backing him. He brings in Shaq. He brings in all the I guess you'll say the '90s uh, athletes that were signed under Reebok. What would be? I'm asking this towards both of y'all. What would be your steps to to rebrand the the Reebok brand itself? What would be your first step on, like, okay, what are you going to release? What would be your marketing? Blase, blase.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you want to, okay. So what I personally would do, because Reebok is kind of, especially for the brand that you and I and all of you guys remember, we are a bit older. So definitely try to hit that note with more nostalgic stuff and bring the old school style commercials they used to do for all the lines, for tennis, for basketball. I mean, that had some dope commercials, man. I don't know if you guys remember the Above the Rim, when
Oh yeah.
Above the Rim came out for basketball, and they had so many athletes, and they were bringing them out on the court, and it was like kind of like um, Spike Lee style made commercials with a lot of close-ups, with a lot of action-looking things. That was really dope. I miss that kind of era when companies were actually making commercials
Oh yeah.
and not just pumping models over to celebrities so they can rock them around. You know what I mean? And just lean on the technology, man. Bring back everything. Bring back the pump. Introduce it to the new generation. A lot of people don't even realize what's up. A lot of people don't even know what real Hexalite is or Graphite is. People think that, Jordan brand came out with a carbon fiber shanks in their shoes. Bring all that stuff back. Just introduce it back to the public. Put some commercials, put some shoes on some people feet, put some shoes on the NBA. That's gonna work out.
What you say, huh?
I was thinking the same thing. It like the Q had said something earlier about Reebok, the deal that they had with CrossFit. You do see a lot of performance Reeboks, and I think that's kind of like what's keeping them in the game. And then of course the Reebok Classics. But just imagine what they could do if they do open the vault. And that's the same thing I'm saying. Like, first thing that's popping in my head that I thought about is the cross trainer Reeboks. They look like the Questions. I forgot whose shoe that was. Was that the Bruce Smith? It's got the Hexalite on the side.
No, that was
E22.
yeah, that was Emmitt Smith's shoe.
Emmitt
That
Smith.
was
That's right. That's
Emmitt
right.
Smith's first signature shoe. Yeah.
Right. And they they reminded you of the Iversons. You know what I mean? And I'm just thinking about stuff like that. I've been looking lately for Reebok, old school Reebok cross trainers. I saw the Insta Pumps that they had the cross trainers. I saw a pair of those on Poshmark, but I could never get the guy to respond. And I was trying to get that shoe, and then I guess he sold it, but and never marked it. So stuff like that. I'm looking for like I've been kind of like the last couple of years been on a cross training kick, so I would love to see some cross training Reeboks reemerge. Just stuff like that from the 80s and 90s, kind of like how Nike is doing right now, just randomly dropping cross trainers here and there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're not making a big campaign, but that's what's people are kind of looking for that stuff right now. Like I'm looking for the Air Max 1 Griffies right now. That they're dropping here and there in different stores. So just stuff like that like they were saying, the question has been it's ran into the ground.
It's played out. Played out. I
It's
cannot.
right. It's ran into the ground, and like a few years back when they brought the Reebok, the 25th anniversary, the flagship, as Black would say, the flagship shoe, and they did the collaborations and stuff like that. I wouldn't mind seeing maybe something like that. Do some collaborations again, because that'll also get them in the game. Get them back in the game with stuff like that. Appeal to the people like us that's looking for the older stuff, but also you can do some collabs and get the new generation involved.
Yep.
Things of that nature. So that's kind of like how I would try to rebrand it.
That was sorry.
Go ahead. No,
I
go
was
ahead.
just saying that was a great missed opportunity because it was 30 years since the original pump came out last year. They could have pumped at least 20, 30 collabs plus the OG colorways. Everybody would have bought them. Everybody that talked to me past the last year keep asking me, "Hey, do you know anything about the pump coming out or the pump coming out? 30 years? Come on, is the pump coming out?" I'm like, "Nope, it is not, unfortunately."
It's like bad news. I mean, I agree with both of y'all. As far as how they should rebrand themselves, and what marketing schemes that they should use. For me, my idea would be basically a combination of both of y'all. It would be I will find someone that I can bring onto the brand and make them an ambassador. It could be somebody that I would say the new generation can, you know, what if it's like somebody like how Kid Cudi went to Adidas and made his own shoe out of the the Wild Stallions from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Try to find somebody like that that can kind of bring people in. You can do like a Big Sean, how he did with Adidas a while back, you know. Um, and then you can introduce like a new model. Like if you see this person bring this model out, and I'm sorry, I just got a phone call, and you just think about them bringing that certain model out. It's a retro version of that model. They bring that model out, and then they bring it out. Picture this. Remember how Shaq brought that Shaq Attack one out back in 2013, and it was very limited,
Yep.
and that was like a highly sought after shoe at that time.
So
What if they do that? What if they do that? They made so many pairs. They make it very limited. They start generating a hype again on that shoe, or just the brand itself. So now all the eyes are gonna start shifting that way toward that brand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be the flagship shoe. It could be the Twilight. It can be the D Browns. I mean, something that people will gravitate towards, and just bring that shoe out in limited quantities. Which you have your limited number stamped on the shoe. Once you get that hype build up, then you hit them. So now you're gonna appease to the OG crowd, and you're appeasing to the new generation.
Right.
Bringing all of them in together, and you're bringing out a dope 90s silhouette that everybody can wear at the same time. Because when did Jordan 1 start getting back popular again? Back in 2013, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It got real mainstream in 2015. So I just feel like they could do that same thing. They just have to get the right people in the right places to bring that whole marketing scheme together. That's just my take on it.
Oh, you're absolutely right about it. I mean, you can bring a new, as somebody mentioned in the comments, which I'm reading, it's exactly what Puma are doing, and that's a great model Puma are doing. Actually, they could mimic that, bring
Puma is
a new popular rookie, outfit him, create him a new model, make it, and they have a good modern materials. I mean, that cloud foam they have, what's it called? It's escaping my mind. So many technologies. Anyway, they can create something really nice that it's popular today with materials, knits and all that stuff, and you can create the same shoe in OG materials. Put some leather
right.
on that. Put some good stuff. It will be popular, guaranteed. And if you want to bring some classic, hey, bring Rodman, man. After this documentary on Netflix, Rodman, he was the original Reebok face. People don't realize that, but he was the one. He was featured in every commercial at the time. So bring him out, put him in some Reeboks, bring him back with some pumps, man. He'd be killing it.
Yeah, because he wore the Omnilight thing.
Yeah, he was. Well, this is the thing. Reebok, Reebok created this fake kind of um, how to call it when 2007 rolled in and they did the 15-year anniversary of D Brown doing the no look dunk. They brought the shoe out and they call it Omnilight. Now the original shoe that he wore on the dunk contest and the shoe that was sold on the stores, it's Omnizone 2. Omnilight was the pre-production name for the model. It was never released in public with that name. So instead of them going and creating the original one and selling Omnizone 2 with the exact same cut, because the Omnilight they released in the late 2000s, and even today, the ones they're releasing, it's just a lower cut shoe. It's different in kind of structure and form. Um, yeah, it mimics the original one a lot, but the model that D Brown rocked was Omnizone 2. So Rodman was on board with the Omnis. He rocked the Omnizone 1. He rocked the Omnizone 2. He was in some Omnizone 3 before he transitioned to other brands, but at the time, he was the face of Reebok.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that's another athlete that a lot of people don't talk about as far as with Reebok is Dominique Wilkins.
Nick is my man. Me as somebody that lives in Atlanta. In my younger years here, I used to work at Phillips Arena. Phillips Arena is the basketball arena and hockey arena at the time that replaced the old Omni. And Dominic Wilkins is involved in the Hawks a lot. So I used to work at the arena doing silent auction for sports memorabilia. So I met him multiple times, and we spoke multiple times about sneakers and all that stuff and the Reebok days. He's a great guy. And initially, when they started releasing a lot of the retros, Reebok did the Twilight Zone, which he rocked for a long time. He rocked the original pump. They were asking him for like colorways and collabs that he would recommend. Uh, and I'm sorry to say it will sound like I'm trying to be a big deal, but he was asking me, which I was nobody, still I'm nobody, but doesn't matter. Talking to me, was like, hey, I know you're into sneakers and you're into Reebok. What do you think about this idea? What do you think about them asking me about all that stuff? So when, and again, I don't want to say this is my idea. I don't want to say that it was even remotely, but it kind of was a coincidental events that happened when they created the mashup between the Twilight Zone and the Kamikaze 2s. Two iconic shoes, Dominic Wilkins and Sean Kemp. This was something that him and I discussed like a year prior, all that stuff. Like one-to-one friendly conversation in the hallways of Phillips Arena. You know what I mean? It's not anything official or anything like that. I cannot claim any royalties. But that shoe happened, and it was successful. I mean, if you go out now and try to buy it aftermarket, it's over $200. It's crazy.
A lot of pumps are up there now. I mean, you can't get a pump no less than 250, 300 right now.
I know.
Yeah, so you've been looking.
That's a fact.
It's crazy.
That is
Crazy
a fact.
So, yeah,
I would like to see the Michael Chains. I would like to see the Michael Chains come back. The tennis pumps.
Speaking of
okay, here we go. Here we go.
Put them on, hey, Teletron
Here
1.
we go.
Put them on
Here we
Teletron
go.
1.
All right, let's go. Oh man, here we go.
Hey, like.
So this is a sample of shoe that never released. Actually,
I was gonna say they got that shoe in that colorway, but it's like a felt colorway, right? It's a felt material.
This is all mesh. The one they released is the same material of the tennis ball, but this is super light. This is kind of like modern take of it.
It looks like
this is all mesh, super breathable, translucent outsole. You can see.
Oh, ooh, I like that.
Icy outsole.
Is that real Hexalite?
No, that is not. Super padded. This is super padded. Pumps are functioning well. You got the nice tennis ball pump right here. These are super nice. These are like, I'm like, why are they not releasing these? Stitch Hexalite
right?
on the back. This is one of the samples I have, and I have multiple samples of this model because I love it. But I've talked to the designer, the original designer, Mr. Ralph Cerner. I have an interview on my channel with him, and we kind of keep in contact for years. We message each other and talk. That shoe is one of his masterpieces, man. This was actually one of the first, if not the first, pump, quote unquote, signature tennis shoe that featured both Hexalite on the forefoot and on the heel. The time they either had it on the forefoot or they had it in the back, but never both. So this was like a flagship. You had the pump and you had dual Hexalite. So that thing was crazy back in the day.
A Reebok that I haven't seen in years is a running shoe that came out. I think it was either 87 or 88. It was called the World Racer.
Yep, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that shoe in so many years.
Man,
it's
that was one of those shoes. That was like one of the early Reebok running shoes that I wanted. Mm-hmm. And the ERS 5000.
The ERX 5000, the retro they released, was it 2013, 2012? It was quite successful. They sold everything. I'm looking for a pair to find just to rock because I have only one in my collection, and I can't find it. And that's another shoe actually created by Ralph Cerner. Had heel and forefoot Hexalite with kind of medial side support as well. That was a very good runner for the time. Very good.
Yeah, I like those two runners right there back in the day when I was in high school. Those are two runners I always wanted from Reebok.
Yeah.
Everybody was rocking the, like the regular classics, the leathers or the canvas
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted that step up model. I just like the designs on those.
Yeah. So speaking of technology, check it out. This is the printed advertisement from 1992-93, Reebok International, for going on all the retails.
Mm.
Obviously we have the flagship athlete on the front, which Shaq, and then in the side, there is a breakdown of all the technologies. But first page, Shaq again, looking very serious, trying to do a free throw uh, scoring, but he can't. And
I
then
know, right?
some of you might recognize that moon step right here. This is the silhouette of the outsole of the preseason, which is the scrimmage and the pay dirt outsole with the Hexalite. That was one of the shoes that Emmett Smith was advertising at the time. But right here you can see all the technology outlines. We got the pumps, we got the graphite, the Hexalite, everything else, and then inside, which is even bigger, they have a breakdown of all the technology.
Wow.
So they have the height trail, they have the graphite, they have the Hexalite, they have the pump, they have the dynamic moving system, all that to the end. All the pump systems, pump collar, full foot pump, midsole,
Mm.
midfoot, heel, all that stuff. This is
Lord
this is
have
how
mercy.
this is how back in the day we used to learn about technologies. You
Right.
get one of those from the store and you're like studying it and look into it, and it was mesmerizing, fascinating how much technology went into that
Yes, exactly. They had a breakdown and everything.
thing.
Those were the extras. Those were the extras that used to come back in the day, man. And they don't produce stuff like that anymore. So
No, they don't.
yeah, it's amazing.
They don't let you know about anything. Back in the day, when you buy the shoes, actually they have these like a miniature version of this inside the box. Not only the tags that show the Hexalite and all the other tech, but it was a miniature whole thing inside that outlines all the models with all the technology. And man, this was priceless to get. You were happy about the shoes, but you were even more happy to get that stuff so you can like flex in
I
front
know
of
I
your friends,
was.
flex in front of your friends that you actually know your stuff.
Right.
You remember back in the day they used to have like the displays of like different technologies in the
Mm-hmm.
sneaker stores. And
Yep.
so you don't even get that anymore.
Nope.
Like they like you said, and you showed the breakdown in that book. They actually showed you the breakdown in this display with
Mm-hmm.
the shoe on
Mm-hmm.
top of the display or on the bottom
Yep.
or whatever. They
Exactly.
don't even. It's like they don't. I think the brands they got away from that because it's money wasted, and they got the internet for that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, but it was super cool to see though. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, it
I
was. It
miss it.
definitely was.
I miss it. It was so good.
I want that old thing back.
You know, I mean, we can talk about technologies, and speaking of Hexalite, a lot of people consistently, that's the number one asked question that everybody's asking me on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube. What's the difference between Hexalite now and Hexalite before? And the difference is huge. Shape wise, it's similar from a distance, but check this out. So this is a patch from my very first original Reebok Aztec runner that they butchered and re-released a couple years back. 1992. I bought it with my own money, and this is one of the pads that are in the heel. So this is exactly how big it is. This goes on your heel, and this is the thickness of it. You can see, and there's individual cells, and it's kind of dirty because one of those cells have a tiny puncture. So this is when the time they were doing the bottom loaded Hexalite instead of top loaded, which was above the midsole. At the time, they started doing it below the midsole, which obviously proved to be not as effective, not only comfort wise, but stuff like that. So you get a little puncture from like a not even a nail, it's like a torn or something, and then water and dirt start getting in, and then every single cell starts to absorb it. So it's not really good. But it's still, even today, with all the dirt inside, this thing is so like bouncy. Like the only thing I can explain it to, and I try to explain to people is, you imagine how Zoom Air feels. This is exactly how Hexalite felt. Very responsive, bouncy. Every single cell provided like its own air inside to expand and contract. When it's depressed. So when you look at it, when you press now, immediately expands up. So it's exactly the same way. And let me show you how it's done on some of these.
Man,
So
hold on real quick. It seemed like you pulled that little piece. You pulled that out like a magic trick. It's like you pulled that out of your sleeve when you said it.
I had it ready for you guys.
Yeah,
I had it ready
I
for you.
see.
this what I was thinking to say. So you telling me you're on the record now because this does shows on YouTube. You're saying that Reebok invented Zoom Air before Nike did.
I don't want to call it Zoom because the feeling is like Zoom Air.
Right.
Obviously, completely different brands, but the way it feels when you step
Right.
in it, it's like Zoom Air. At least that's how when I later stepped on Zoom, years later, I was like, well, that feels exactly like Hexalite. It's
So
just
they
you have
so they
small
basically
compression and reaction.
took Reeboks and stepped it up a notch.
Well,
They could have. They could have.
I would say let me say this real quick. I would say the difference in the Zoom Air and that is, whereas you have little chambers in the Hexalite. If you I've seen, if you take out a Zoom Air pad, it's a bunch of fibers in
It's fibers. Yeah.
one long air pad. I
Mhm.
think for me, the best feeling Zoom Air shoe for me, Jordan wise, is a Jordan 12. To me, that's the most comfortable shoe with Zoom Air in it. Like that
Mhm.
that shoe right
Mhm.
there for me. I've heard some people say that's not a good shoe. They don't like the way it feels. But like if you look at a Zoom Air pad, like a full length pad, it's got the fibers in it, and it's just one. It is one pad with air in it.
Right. Right.
Whereas the
Exactly.
difference in the Hexalite is, you got different honeycombs. But he
Mhm.
did, like you said, if you get one puncture in one honeycomb, it's gonna lead to the whole thing.
Eventually, yes.
Right.
Eventually,
Yeah.
because
Right.
now when it's bottom loaded like this, and when you step on like puddles and stuff like that, water gets sucked inside. And when you
Hmm.
step again, because the pressure, that water cannot escape that puncture immediately because this is kind of like a hard rubber that covers on top side and bottom side of the Hexalite. So
Hmm.
it tries to expand sideways, and that kind of destroys the bond between the cell walls, and the water gets inside the other cells. But that happens over the time. It's not going to happen right away. Um, but again, as you can see, this is getting dark, and it got dark because of that. But this is years and years of wearing. I mean, for me to pull it out of the outsole, I mean, I put like 5, 6 years of wearing this thing.
What,
I'm
what
just
what shoe did you pull that out of?
Outstrek, the Outstrek that
the
was
runner.
that same shoe that was re-released out of the blue. I couldn't believe they will release it. What, 2, 3 years ago? They
Hmm.
butchered it because they didn't even do justice on the shape of the shoe. But luckily, I have a couple original pairs that I can still, see the difference. But what I'm going to show you now, it's actually going to be easier for you to spot the Hexalite difference, and you will see.
Yeah.
Now this is 2000 sample of, obviously, question low, signed, by the way, right here on the back.
Mm.
Uh,
Oh, okay.
but this one is with the reflective 3M toe, all leather, and just look at this perfect Hexalite. This is 20
Yes.
years, 20-year-old Hexalite. Look how clear it is.
Wow.
Look how responsive it is inside. And you can see the Ultra Hexalite on the bottom, which is bigger cells. Let me see if the light will pick it up.
Yeah.
So the bigger cells, the Ultra Hexalite is about 2, 3 times bigger cell and taller. It's not, if this is the thingness of the normal Hexalite, the other one will be, imagine 2 or 3 stacks of these on top of each other.
I think that's cool.
So that was even better. So this is, the 2000 sample, which, yeah, 2000 sample. But this is one of the clearest Hexalites, 20 years old. You can see how nice it is.
Is that red and gray?
Yeah, it's red
Okay.
inside.
Okay.
So and look at the insoles. I'm going to show you that these are actually the original insoles. This is how these insoles were released in 2000 as well. They're crumbling. That's why I have them on a Ziploc bag. I pulled them out because they're when polyurethane starts breaking in, it's very sticky, and if you leave it inside the shoe, it actually will kind of bleed into the inner liner and destroy it.
Mm.
So this insoles are the original insoles. This is how they look. Later they changed the design of it, so they're a bit different, but they still have the crash pad on the back. These grooves on the forefoot are much different on the original ones. It's kind of like gives it a different profile, and this insole is super thick. Let me see.
Yeah, I can see.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's super thick. They had Reebok on top of it. But unfortunately, these always eventually crumble and they're kind of destroying each other. One of the most interesting thing for me about this sample from 2000 is, you know how this patch is always synthetic leather and peels and crumbles? Look at this
Right.
one. It's 20 years old and it's like brand new. There's no problem with it whatsoever. I don't know what kind of synthetic leather they use on this one, but man, this is crazy.
But that was still a time
Look at
back then when they was actually making
the
real good
sample, the
quality
original
leather.
sample label right here.
Nice.
So yeah, it's I mean stuff like that. Unfortunately, we're not gonna see with these nice Hexalite pods, which you know they're for show, but at least you can see and kind of depress and see how responsive it is, and then the magic happens when you get the Ultra Hexalite on the hill right here.
So you say that's a sample right there.
Yeah.
Would you happen to have any other samples right there in front of you, my good sir?
Well, I'm glad you asked this question because I do have tons of samples.
Let's see what you got.
So you know, in my years of collecting, I was lucky enough to make some good friends with Reebok and you know other collectors like myself. So I was able to acquire probably close to 100 different pairs of samples,
Wow.
which were scheduled to be incinerated. By the way, if you're wondering. Unfortunately, companies, not only Reebok, but even Nike, when they are not doing samples they're going to be releasing, they break the molds and they burn the sneakers, which is not good for collectors like us, but I guess that's what they want to do.
Hold on. Before you show that, so you were saying that this is going back to a question I asked earlier about opening up the vault. So you saying that when they destroy molds, there's no chance for that shoe coming back out?
There is, but they got to invest another $100,000 to make another mold.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
that's what I'm saying. They have to make a whole nother mold.
Yep.
And do you have any information that they have gotten rid of some molds that might not probably come back out?
I know for a fact they have got rid of a lot of molds. Shoes they were scheduled to release in 2013, 2014. I'm talking about the Swingman, the Rafter. God, what else? There was so many other models that were scheduled to release at that time. Some of the blacktop models, unfortunately, they follow the same fate. Now, you know, people are saying rumor this and that, but I have pretty good information that the Blacktop Pump Battleground 2 will be making a return in 2021. So this year, hopefully, we're gonna get some of the OG colorways, and we're gonna get some good pumps.
Hey, bruh, look, that Battleground is like one of the sickest pumps that they ever made, bruh.
Yeah.
On
Indeed.
everything. Well, before he show his, let me show my Battleground pump so these
Absolutely,
people
go
can
ahead.
see exactly what we talking about.
Now I'm gonna disappoint you because my Battleground is so buried in, I couldn't find it there. But I promise on the next one I'm gonna bring it out. But I got other interesting things you're gonna like too.
Okay. You ready, Hot?
Hold on. Tell me, Jan. Hold on. Let's see what you got.
Put them on the big screen. There you go.
These
Golden,
right
man.
here.
Golden. That release was so underrated. 2004 when these came out, I even slept through them. They were so with the real Hexalite. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. Just put it closer. There you go. With the real Hexalite. Man, you know, it's so sad.
And this is
So
what I
sad we
had on
cannot do
today.
that anymore.
This was on feet today.
Just show that leather on the forefoot, man, on the toe box. Show that leather. Look at that
Hmm.
thing. Ah, come on.
That's a senior citizen leather.
Oh yeah,
That's
old
that's your
man.
grandma. That's your grandma's couch leather right there.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
All right, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got.
I see leather like this, and I mean, I get excited right away. So check this bad boy out.
What's that? The Iverson 8?
So this is the answer 3. And unfortunately, this colorway never released in the States. They only released in China, China exclusive, Asia exclusive. That was in December of 2008. So these about 12 years old, 13 years old. But let me get you closer so you can just appreciate how amazing the material on this thing is. Just look at the leather on the tongue. Look at that. Let me flip that. Look, leather all around, even below the logo, over the logo, all leather. Look at the suede on the toe box.
Wow.
This is all suede, all leather. You got the embossed logo. You got the 3D ultralight and DMX combination on the outsole. You got the leather inner liner, which this is the leather inner liner. It's not the linoleum, type of stuff they put on later. This is completely leather inside. I mean, this shoe, this was planned to be re-released. So a lot of the OG colorways were planned to be released 2014, and they scrapped it completely. They destroyed molds and they just went away with it. They didn't want to do it. This has the anatomical athlete Reebok insole, which is super thick in the back with the arch support. We got Iverson logo right there. And the tone is held by the bungees. I mean, this thing is just dope. A lot of people have been begging for this shoe to come back. I mean, this is actually my favorite Iverson. It's one of those shoes that when it came out, it was super comfortable. I liked every single OG colorway, and they had a ton of team colorways as well. Like all the college teams that had contracts with Reebok at the time, they rocked their own colorways, based on their team. And that was super popular. I mean, this shoe was sold in a lot of numbers,
That stitching and the design in the suede and the nubuck, it kind of reminds me of the Vince Carter shocks, the first basketball shock. Yeah, he had like that stitching design kind of like in those shocks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely a dope colorway and a dope shoe. The materials look amazing on there.
That's right. That's something you don't see every day.
Gold. Got the sample tag and everything. Straight.
Show that real quick in the camera, that sample tag. There you go.
Yeah, that's something you don't see every day, man.
Man, every day, man. What you?
I'm just saying, man. You don't see that every day, man.
Speaking of virus and samples, let me show you a couple more.
Hey, whatever you got, man. Let's go. Let's see it.
I got definitely plenty, and this one never released for some reason. It's
platinum. That's their platinum.
It's the white and platinum Iverson Answer 1 with the original DMX 10.
Hold on. You see how that DMX looks?
It's blue.
I'm saying the pods. How the pods go back and forth. That's a man. Look at the bottom of that shoe.
There's your screens comfort.
You got 5 pods in the front, and you got 5 pods in the back, and the transition bridge in the middle. And every move you put, if you put your toe in right here, the air escapes, goes, disperses around the whole shoe after that. And this is a sample from January of 2007. That was supposed to be released at the time, but for the anniversary, 10 was it 10? Yeah, 10 anniversary of the shoe, but they never released it. But check out the leather again.
Look
at this thing.
Look at the leather.
And I
Don't
mean,
you see it?
it is soft, it is responsive. This thing is amazing. Let me pull the insole out. Hopefully, it's not gonna
So
crumble
why are
on
you
my
doing
hands.
that? What makes them not want to bring that shoe out if they made the sample for it?
Probably at the time they had two or three other ones, and they probably only said, "Okay, we're going to bring the OG colorways," and who knows, man? It's marketing decision. It's decision between the big retailers and the marketing, whatever they decide to pull in. I mean, look at this. This is the original polyurethane insole, and I can't believe this is not crumbling because this is what I say,
6,
2007.
7.
So this is quite old. This is the original. See, we got the crash part on the
Crash pad.
back. We got the forefoot, and this is what I'm saying. This is what they later put on the question, but the original one was like the one I showed you earlier. Just look at the thickness of this thing. This is stepping on marshmallows right here. So this shoe, unfortunately, didn't make it. Look at the padding on the back, super thick. Tone is really nice. We got, the Reebok. We got Iverson on all that platinum stuff. The midsole is super soft. These are still one of those shoes. You put them on feet and you go rock back and forward, and it feels like you're on a boat. They're so good. And even that silver pad over here is leather. See how it creases?
Mm.
This is
That's a beautiful sneaker, man.
that's golden right there. And let me show you another one.
Throw back getting excited. All this Ivory stuff you showing now.
I know.
Beer said, "Grandma hands on deck."
And this is the old 3M shoe, which midsole is 3M as well. Everything is 3M.
Wow.
The upper,
Wow.
if you walk at night with these, you look like the Silver Surfer, man. This thing is crazy. You see these how the Hexalite pogs are starting to fog out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's because of the paint they chose for the 3M. That's what happened. But these have again the original Ultra Hexalite on the bottom.
The bottom looks clear though.
Yeah, it's really good. The bottom it's not affected at all. And these feel like this 3M on top of it is so smooth. It feels like you're touching a reptile skin or something like that. It's weird. This sample is from 2006, so 2006 sample.
And that was one that was gonna get burned as well, right?
Yes, this was scheduled to be burned. I saved his life. I saved his life. They were going to go bad on these ones, and now I mentioned to you guys earlier I have some samples that I'm yet not allowed to show because they might make their way to public, and I'm really hoping they will. Some of them are quite exciting for me, at least. I'm sure a lot of people will like them as well. But
Are we getting exclusive?
This is another shoe that never made it to retail. Shack Attack Modern, the Bordeaux, or kind of you see with the mesh. And these,
Wow.
they were debating how to make them, and we have left shoe that's different than the right shoe. So if you look both of them, you see this is fine, but look at the front.
Mm.
So you have the toe box is colored different.
Dang. I kind of like the white trim better.
I like the white trim better too. I wish they can release it. I wish they can release it like this. This is a little bit more muted. This definitely looks a lot better.
Man, that white on the front changes.
Again, you have the graphite and the pump, but these are super comfortable. I mean, these don't even feel like Shaq when you put them on feet because they're so much lighter because of the material, being all mesh. And I definitely like these. I'm not sure why I didn't want to release them. They only released that yellow pair, which is horrendous.
Yeah,
when these are so much better, so much better.
That burgundy is nice.
Did they release the Olympic, I guess, shrug, or it was an Olympic pair that they were supposed to bring out?
The Olympic. Give me some more info. What was that all about? I don't remember it.
I think it was in a pack they had like the Iverson red toes, Shack Attacks.
Oh yeah, these were only released in Europe. It was inspired
Yes,
Shack Attack. The other one was
it
the
was in the Olympics.
snubbed, the
Yeah, that's
snubbed,
it.
yeah,
Snub. That's it. That's it.
which was had the colors of the what Luke Longley actually rocked. That was the Hirachi, and the other one was the modern Bordeaux. And I have another one. I couldn't dig it out, but what I call the Stormtrooper, which is black and white, and
Hmm.
these were pretty amazing. And there's another one, Lux, which I have the pre-released one, which was kind of like blue. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see pictures. I can't dig it out again. It's very blue, suede and leather. I mean, completely luxurious. It's like amazing materials. But the other one, there was Italian leather made. That one was not even showed on any pictures. So I think I'm probably maybe the only person that still has it because they burned all of the rest of them. It's kind of like brown, tan, like super luxurious Italian leather pair. And people constantly hit me out to sell this specific pair because it's unique. I've been getting like $1,000 offers on that one, but I'm like, nah, maybe one day if the price goes up, but I don't think so, knowing myself.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I managed to save about what 40, about 50 pairs of those that were predestined to get burned. Luckily, my buddy over there at Reebok saved them for me, and there was a lot of them that we couldn't save. Unfortunately,
Right.
people were fast, and a lot of people internally actually snagged a lot of those pairs that
Of course.
also were were meant to be burned. But you know, I'm sure most of them don't even realize what they have. They just thought they look cool or whatever. But you know, he knew that I was, you know, he knows me and he knows that I'm crazy about these shoes. So, you know, grabbing something like that that you can't see anywhere, for me, it's a big deal. You know, having it in my collection, and I'm glad that you know, I keep the legend going forward and
Right.
not getting burned somewhere and
Right.
forgotten.
Gotcha. Anything else you want to show real quick before we wrap it up?
Oh God, I can show you so much. I mean, I have. Oh, speaking of blacktop, let me show you some things.
All right.
19,
Let's see some
1992.
material.
1992. This is the official retail catalog, and here's your shoes right there. 1992. See the pump battleground, and we have the Boulevard, and on top we have the Solar Zone pumps and all that stuff. You can see we got
Yeah, they need to bring that whole blacktop series back
the
up, man.
whole blacktop series needs to come
Yeah.
back ASAP because it's so dope. Speaking of cross
is.
trainers, let me show you something else. One of my
Ooh,
personal favorite
I
cross
like
trainers
those.
right here.
Yes, sir.
That's
The
the
SX,
two, ain't it?
the SXT2,
Yeah.
yeah, the CXT right there, cross trainers all the way. I mean, this was like the bread and butter back in the day. Bread and butter. Speaking of
Reebok was
tennis,
on that game back then.
speaking of tennis, Court Victory 2 right there. Heel and forefoot Hexalite pump. Incredible materials. This is all the tennis models. I mean, all that stuff is impossible to find these days, man. This is
It
even
is.
even the magazine is impossible to find. Transit Zone, which was the pump shoe from the Omnizone series that actually featured full foot pump system, which was all around. Heel.
Show that one again. Show that one again. Go the opposite way. Go the opposite way.
You see it?
There you go. Oh yeah, I like that.
So
I like that over exaggerated tongue with the pump on it, man.
Yeah,
It's
that was
it's a beautiful thing.
the flagship at the time because it featured pump all around. So kind of like your whole foot was hugged by the pump system, not just the midfoot, not the heel, but it was all around. So there was like extra support. That thing was awesome. But I mean, check out in the back, man. This is some dope advertisement here.
Look at that. Hey, you show that now. Pumps on a skateboard.
Yeah. Look at that. I mean, if to break it down, not to speak only for Reebok, check it out.
Uh-oh. What you got?
1990 Nike
Mm.
retail footwear
Hold on.
catalog.
Go a little bit more to what. Go the opposite way. Now, there you go. Ooh, what is that?
Mm.
What
Mm.
is that right there?
Something
You
they
got
need to release.
the what are they, the military force? What are they
Military
called?
blue, yes, sir.
Yep, there you go. So I mean, this is look how thick this thing is. This is like pages upon pages of dope stuff that Nike were released back in the day. And let me get you to this
See what you got. Let's see what you
promised
got.
land of this page right there.
Man, look at that.
Mm. Mm.
Look at that.
Just look at the shape of them, man. They don't make them
Man,
like this anymore. Look at the shape of them.
what are you preaching?
Look at the shape. Look at that toe, that smooth toe going up, not reinforced, nothing like that. So good.
Ooh, look at them flights
Look
on
at
the
that air
bottom.
pressure. Look at that air pressure. The Reebok knockoffs with the pump.
Dude, that's Black's Grail right there. That's Black's Grail.
So yeah, it's
Mm.
stuff like that over the years when you collect it, you got some Agassi right here with the court victories.
See, they need to bring back old posters like that. Make that stuff into posters.
Exactly. They need to bring all that stuff, man. All that old stuff. That was dope.
That's the thing I miss is the posters, man. The dope posters that they used to have.
I
Yeah.
need to be a liaison to the people, man. I tell them, hey, look, I need all these brands to come into one. Listen to what I say, and this is from me. I'm the middleman to the people. You hear me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
But
tell you what they want, when they want it, and how they want it.
man, but it's like he said earlier, man. If you make all that stuff that they had back in the day with the technology, it's gonna cost a lot more. You know
It
what I
will.
mean? Because back then it was a lot to pay for them shoes. Back then, them pumps and the air pressures. What was the air pressures like? How much was that shoe retail when it was
175,
175? That was a lot, and
Well,
that shoe came out in what
you got
89, 90?
you got to
89.
consider you got to consider it came out with a suitcase, with a
Mhm.
strap and all
Yes,
that stuff.
yeah.
That was kind of expensive and dope at the time. So,
It
but
was.
still, I mean, that shoe was made high quality. I remember when it came out, and I was looking at the case, and I was like, "Holy smokes! They're doing shoes for the moon now because they look like super high tech in that thing. You pull them
That's
out of that box, man, and it was like, whew,
that's what caught my eye was the box. Like I said,
yeah,
dude came to the gym, had the box with the shoulder strap over
with a
his shoulder,
strap, yeah,
and he sat it down. And he pulled his shoes off that he walked in with. He pulled the pressures out, put them on, play ball, and I was like, whoa, whoa, when
Ga-
they started doing that?
game over, man.
I
Yeah,
was
it was
like, man,
good.
I was hooked on that shoe ever since.
Yeah,
That was
it
back in
was good.
1989.
Yep, I remember it when it came out, and
You're right, D-Beck. Nike is lazy now. I think a lot of these brands are lazy.
All of them.
Yeah, a
You
lot
know,
of
except for some of the ones that are not really noticed to still make good quality shoes.
right.
But you look at the brand, you look at just like that Diodore that you got, that the Raekwon, the new Raekwon.
hmm
For that price, but you're getting good quality product. The
Facts.
shoe is a good quality product. Like he said, you smell that shoe,
Hmm.
and it smells amazing.
give me that smell every day, man. I wish.
It's funny that you said that earlier because I just introduced my wife to that new shoe smell. About a month ago, and she's like, "Why do you always?" I said, "Smell it and see." And when she smells, she's like, "Oh, that does smell good."
They how
I
real
wish they
that
can
smell?
bottle. I wish they can bottle that smell and sell it.
Man,
Man,
I always said, make a car air freshener that makes your car smell like a new shoe.
Yep, that'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
exactly, exactly. Well, look, man, you know, we about to wrap it up, man. We appreciate. I know it was short notice, man, but I
No
really
worries.
appreciate you coming on, man, and sharing your knowledge with us. Um, this was a great way to start the new year off, and I can speak for both of us. We really appreciate you coming on. Like we wanted you to come on a while ago, but we didn't think you was stateside, so we
hmm
was like, man, he's probably on a different time zone,
I fooled you
totally different.
with my accent. I fooled
Yes, you did,
yeah, you did.
you did,
you.
you did,
I was
you
like, man, he
did.
ain't from over here, man. I know he
uh,
ain't from over here.
well, I mean, I definitely appreciate you gentlemen inviting me. I can talk anybody's ears off when it comes to sneakers and history and technology. I've keep saying to my friends around here that don't care about sneakers, I have so much useless information that you guys, I'm gonna blow your ears off about that. I'm glad that when I have the right audience, people that actually are passionate about sneakers like I am, we can talk about it and be happy about the things we've learned and the things that we figured out and the things we remember from the old days. Because it's great. The new generation is moving forward. They like what they like, but I'm missing the old days, despite all the shortcomings and all the difficulties we had to go through to find and buy sneakers. But this is what brought us all together. This is what our faith kind of gets us together on the same level. No matter where you are, no matter who you grew up, that's the passion of sneakers is brought us here, and I'm glad to be able to share it, man. If people are here to listen and to learn something, even if it's 1% of all the rambling I've been doing, I'm happy with that.
Nah, you ain't been rambling, man. You've been giving us great content. You've been giving us great knowledge on Reebok and just sneakers back in the day period. So nah, I wouldn't call it rambling, man. It's just information. It's information you've given us, man. We're grateful for you coming through and chopping it up with us, and bringing us back to the new year.
Yeah,
I mean,
Man.
it's been what 3 months since we've been on, man. Life shit, holidays, hey, things happen, man. We just glad to be back, man.
2020 happened to us. I mean, that's what happens.
I mean,
I
you know
know.
what? I'm gonna be honest with you. It was really my fault because I don't know, man. I just been lately. It's just been frustrating. Just to keep it real. Just seeing all this stuff online. People online just doing stuff, and I was like, man, I need to recharge. But
Yes,
I
sir.
caught that bug, and I was like, man, let's go. Let's
Yes,
go.
sir.
And man, like I said, I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate the chat. The chat was lit tonight. We appreciate everybody coming through.
Yeah,
And I
appreciate it,
I
man.
really enjoyed this, man. And you definitely coming back on, bro. You
Oh yeah,
know,
for sure.
I'm gonna tell you like this: start digging that old stuff back out
Yep.
because that's the stuff that we want
Oh
to
man,
see.
we
You
gotta
showed some
dedicate.
gems tonight. You showed some gems tonight, but oh no! Before you say it, yeah, the next show is just lay everything out, and we just gonna put you on the Summer Jam screen, and we just gonna have you show all the stuff that we want to see and that you
we
want to show.
gotta we gotta dedicate a couple of shows for me to show you all my OGs because
Hey,
I got some pairs that nobody has. I mean, other than Reebok Museum back in their deep vault under the ground, probably nobody has. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
yeah, shout out to the chat, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all, man. We really do. We really do. And
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for everybody showing up to see us, guys.
tell them where they can find you at, man. Shout out your YouTube channel. Shout out your
Well,
IG.
you guys,
We're gonna put your stuff in the description.
yep.
Like I said, I'm executive producing. I'm really not good with that stuff right now. So Black's gonna go back and edit it, the description and all that good stuff. Like I said, this is my first time, doing this on the controls. So I appreciate y'all bearing with me. I know I went out a couple of times, but thank you all for bearing with me. And yeah, shout your stuff out real quick. Tell them where they can find you at. And
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Oh
I
yeah,
love
he's
it.
doing
I
a
love
wonderful
it.
job.
Yeah,
thank you.
Doing,
absolutely.
Thank you.
doing
I
a bang up
appreciate it.
job, man.
I mean, KicksReason everywhere. Instagram is KicksReason, Twitter is KicksReason, the channel is KicksReason. They've been KicksReason for a while. That's. I just wanted to throw that in real quick. I started the channel back in 2013. It's been almost 8 years now, but I failed to recognize the power of YouTube earlier because I had sneakers way before that, and I could have been just like those big YouTube channels with 500,000 subscribers. But I just didn't think anybody cares about sneakers, man. Honestly, I was like, I'm the only crazy person that cares about sneakers. But later on, I figured out I'm not the only one. So that was my mistake.
I mean, we make mistakes like that, man. As far because I'm the
Yeah,
same way. I didn't think a lot of people wanted to see the stuff that I had on my YouTube channel. So that's one of the reasons why I stopped doing my YouTube channel
right,
because I just
right.
didn't think people wanted to see what I had.
Yeah, but better late than never, right?
Right, right. Hey,
Right. Well, I'm gonna start it off. Well, like I said, make sure you give KicksReason a follow. Check his YouTube channel out. Hopefully, you know, we'll get what we want with Reebok. But you know, we appreciate you showing all these gems. Like I said, shout out to the chat, man. Appreciate you guys hanging in with us. You know, the chat was lit. I saw the conversations going in the chat. I wanted to show a lot more comments, but you know, trying to pay attention to everything. It was dope. Dope show, man. I appreciate you. First show of the new year.
For sure.
Off the chain. But follow me at HotDog18 on IG. And that's pretty much it, man. I'm good, Black.
Okay. Well, I'm Black Ass African, aka BAA, aka Marvin. You can catch me on IG. One half of Retro Talk Forum. That's
Other way.
That's Top Dog 18. It's KicksReason.
Good job.
We are Retro Talk Forum. We'll holler at y'all next week, man.
Peace out. Don't go nowhere, Kicks. Don't go nowhere.
I'm hanging.